A new Wordle puzzle is online. Click on the link to play.
Listening to the following video may give you clues. Please like and share their videos.
Atlanta Hawks' Kyle Lowry leaves Game 3 with hamstring injury. After playing 6 points, 4 rebounds and 5 assists in Game 3, Miami Heat's Kyle Lowry left the game with a hamstring injury.
Heat coach Eric Spoelstra had little to say about Lowry's condition. The coach said the injury would need to be further examined to determine its full extent.
The injury comes with a significant price tag, as the Heat's bench unit continues to play well despite Lowry's absence. Kyle Lowry leaves Game 3 with hamstring injury.
The Atlanta Hawks beat the Miami Heat 111-110 in Game 3 on Friday night, and the loss comes as a big blow to the Miami Heat. In a game that saw many high-scoring players struggle, Lowry was one of those stars.
But his performance was hampered by a hamstring injury. The Heat didn't release any further details on the injury, but Lowry left the game with a hamstring injury and will likely need more time to heal.
Kyle Lowry is a key piece of the Miami Heat's offense and defense, and the loss of his presence will be a huge blow. Despite his limited minutes, Lowry averaged 13.4 points, 4.5 rebounds, 7.5 assists, and 1.1 steals per game during the regular season.
With Lowry out, the Heat are likely to rely on Gabe Vincent and Tyler Herro to carry the load. The Miami Heat have made a major move this offseason in acquiring Kyle Lowry.
While the NBA is not interested in signing a superstar, they are hoping Lowry can prove his worth. He was a key piece of the team's off-season purchase and will continue to play a pivotal role for them this season.
The point guard is expected to contribute up to 13 points per game and average 4.5 rebounds, and will likely add 5 or 6 assists per game. After blowing a 16-point lead in Game 3 against the Atlanta Hawks, the Miami Heat fell victim to a late-game floater by Trae Young.
The loss left the Miami Heat without a chance to take a series lead, and the Atlanta Hawks have home court advantage in Game 4 of the series. If the Heat are going to win Game 4, Lowry should be fine to play.
Without Lowry, the Miami Heat's rotation would likely be a little unbalanced. With their usual point guard out with an injury, they could be forced to play Vincent for 6 minutes.
However, if Lowry isn't able to play, the Heat could opt to stick with their bench rotation and use a backup point guard. Vincent could even start the game instead of Lowry.
Meanwhile, Victor Oladipo would also be a viable option if Lowry is unavailable for Game 3. Jimmy Butler goes down after contact with John Collins.
The Heat and Hawks are in a heated series, and Game 3 is on Friday in Atlanta. Game 2 ended 115-105 in Atlanta, but Game 3 could be different.
The Heat need to keep Trae Young and Robinson and get Jimmy Butler to sign an extension. While Collins may be out of contract, he has shown signs of improvement.
This is good news for fans of the Heat. If Collins signs a new deal with the Hawks, it will likely make it much easier for the team to sign him to a new deal.
The Hawks were not able to hold Jimmy Butler to under 40 points in the first game, but he was unstoppable in Game 5, extending the series against the Lakers.
The Hawks were a tough team, and Jimmy Butler needed to put up big numbers. He finished with a game-high 41 points, including 18 in the second half.
He also had 5 rebounds and 5 assists, but was the primary harasser of Trae Young in the final minutes. Despite the drubbing that he received from the Celtics center, Jimmy Butler had a strong game.
In fact, he scored half his points in the fourth quarter. In the first half of the season, he shot 18.5 from beyond the arc on 1.9 attempts.
However, in the final 8 games, he shot 41.7% on 3-point attempts. Overall, Butler is a 5 for 8 shooter from 3-point range in the playoffs, which is more than impressive considering his age.
The lopsided fourth quarter of Game 3 was especially frustrating for the Heat, considering the dazzling third quarter run the Heat had. After all, Butler was the only team with a winning record.
He was even praised by his teammates after the game, saying, "I took what the defense gave me." After the game, the Heat's second-half collapse was even more painful to watch after the team went on a 21-0 run in the third.
But he returned to the game a few minutes later after a 3 from Patucker with 53.9 seconds remaining.
While Butler and Herro are questionable, Collins is another option as a scoring option. Collins is 6 feet 9 and can guard the 1-5 spot but isn't nearly as efficient as Crowder.
However, Collins has the ability to shoot from outside and score at the rim. Combined with Butler and Adebayo, Collins could provide the Heat with a scoring option.
In this regard, he is an excellent backup to Butler and Adebayo. Atlanta Hawks bench unit continues to play well.
After losing their leading scorer in Game 2 of this series to the Miami Heat, the Atlanta Hawks bench unit has continued to play well since Lowry's injury. The bench unit continues to score and is generating a lot of second chances.
The Hawks bench unit continues to play well even without Lowry, and this is something that can only be good. Game 3 of the Miami Heat-Atlanta Hawks series is set to begin Sunday at 7 p.m.
At Lowry, the Heat's starting point guard was injured early in the third quarter and was not able to return.
The Heat did not disclose the nature of Lowry's hamstring injury, but he did leave the game with a left leg injury. Lowry finished with 6 points, 5 rebounds, and a +18 rating.
Despite Kyle Lowry's hamstring injury, the bench unit is continuing to play well, with Josh Richardson, Daniel Theis, and Derek White all making good contributions. Another bright spot in the Atlanta Hawks bench unit is Peyton Pritchard, who has continued to show progress in his second season.
Although he's a little inconsistent, his improved play should help the Hawks' playoff push. The Atlanta Hawks bench unit continues to play surprisingly well after Kyle Lowry's hammy injury.
With DeMar DeRozan and Victor Oladipo under center, the Hawks have been able to play swarm defense on the Spurs. The Spurs, meanwhile, have not shown the playmaking skills they need to loosen up the series.
Despite Lowry's hamstring injury, the Hawks bench unit has continued to be excellent. DeMar DeRozan has averaged 33.8 points in 5 games and is a solid and productive guard.
Serge Ibaka is an improvement over Lucas Nogueira and Pascal Siakam, who both struggled in the absence of Lowry. Ibaka is capable of playing center and defending against Monroe.
In his first 5 games, Ibaka has scored 17 points with 8 rebounds and 1.4 blocks. A suspicious package outside the State Farm Arena has forced the Hawks tip-off to be delayed.
The Atlanta Police Department closed 3 of the building's gates and sent a bomb squad to the scene. The package was not explosive, but the bomb squad safely removed it from the stairwell.
The Pacers bench unit will need to improve with Turner and Donald Sloan. Impact of Lowry's injury on Miami Heat.
One question on the minds of Heat fans is, what's the impact of Kyle Lowry's injury on the team? After all, the Canadian is in his first season with Miami, but he was with the Raptors for 9 seasons, earning 6 All-Star selections and winning a championship last year with the Raptors. In addition to his scoring ability, Lowry also brings defense to the Heat, setting screens, drawing charges, and creating deflections in the passing lane.
Lowry's playmaking skills, unselfishness, and toughness on both ends of the court have been vital to Miami's success, and it's unclear whether his absence will affect the team's success. Without Lowry, the Miami Heat have a lot to do.
After losing 3 of their top 4 scorers, they will have to make up for the loss of Lowry's production. While the team's offense hasn't suffered too much without Lowry this season, it has been a difficult season for them.
Despite numerous injuries and a COVID-19 pandemic, the Heat are still in first place in the Eastern Conference, ahead of the Brooklyn Nets and Chicago Bulls. While there's no certainty that Lowry will play again, the Heat will be without many key regular players for at least 2 more games.
Besides Lowry, the Heat will be without Victor Oladipo, Markieff Morris, Devin Smart, and KZ Okpala. KZ Okpala, Gabe Vincent, and Max Strus will be a bigger part of the Heat's rotation in the absence of Kyle Lowry.
While there's no way to tell if Kyle Lowry's injury will keep him from playing in Game 4, it will certainly have a profound effect on the Heat's playoff chances. Despite Lowry's absence, the team's record against the Raptors remains at the top of the Eastern Conference, and Miami is the defending champion.
They'll travel to Chicago on Saturday to play the Bulls in Game 4. While Kyle Lowry's absence will obviously have an impact, the Heat's roster is balanced and can compensate for his absence in a few areas.
The Heat scored a season-high 102 points in Game 3 against the Hawks, and the team's opponent outscored the Heat by 5.8 points per 100 possessions without him. Butler missed practice Thursday and is questionable for Friday's game against the Thunder.